welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I'm in the account of one of my clan mates, Pop. Now, he actually has been doing some YouTube in the past. He's going to get back into it a little bit. He's doing videos helping newer players, early and mid-game accounts, kind of figure out some nuances and better ways to develop your account. So you definitely want to go by. Please take the time, go by, subscribe to his YouTube channel. It would actually mean a lot to me because he's letting me come on his account today to do a super cool video for you guys, something I'm really excited about because it's showing something that I didn't think could be done. And in fact, I said it couldn't be done. You guys might have seen me in a video on Anax just a day or two ago where I talked about how he cannot be tuned with a Bateater team, or I think it's a Bateater team, basically. Any kind of thing with a man-eater, somewhere where his HP is going to go low, so he can't be used in an unkillable team. A block damage comp? Sure. A Valkyrie team with the massive shield? Sure. But not something where he's actually going to lose his HP like a man-eater composition. Well, woe be me. I was proved wrong, thankfully, by many of my clanmates and one of my moderators, Robo Bobo, Nixar, Napoleon Camembert, and Pop. They said, no, this should work. This should work, right? It doesn't work with the normal Bateater team, and I'm actually going to show you guys how it falls apart. But then I'm also going to show you the simple adjustments you can make to make it work for Ultra Nightmare. Now, one thing I have been told is Anax will work on Nightmare, on Brutal, on Hard with the normal Bateater team. That's actually true. He goes fast enough where he's going to catch up with speed to enable that 2-1 ratio regardless. But on Ultra Nightmare, the clan boss goes just a little too fast, and the speed requirements are pretty narrow, so his ability to catch up and get his second turn in just doesn't happen. Or I guess you should say he gets his second turn too soon. In the other champions, the next champion, Seeker, doesn't get his second turn fast enough. So because of that, it's really important that we actually make some little adjustments to make him work for Ultra Nightmare. And thanks to my clanmates and my moderators, we have been able to find those speeds and implement them into this tune. And it works like a charm, guys. I'm really excited about this. I'm actually doing the intro now before I do the run. So some of that might not line up dialogue-wise, but I think you guys are going to be really impressed by this. So I do want to quickly shout out to you guys before we get into this. Take the time. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel, why not? What are you waiting for? You're obviously getting great information here. You're using my calculator. Come by, guys. Just subscribe to the channel. It does amazing stuff for me. I would really, really appreciate it. We are this close. At the time I'm doing this, we're like 19,500 subscribers. I really want to hit that 20,000 mark. It's a real big goal of mine. We're going to be doing a big giveaway on Twitch on Friday for the 2x Sacred Shard event while I'm pulling shards. Giving away like 5,400 gems, giving away 5 coaching sessions for people. And I'd really love that to be a celebration for 20,000 subs. So counting on you guys, would really appreciate it. That said, let's go ahead, let's look at the champions, and then we'll go through the runs, and you guys can see exactly how this works and doesn't work. You can see as Anax not even fully leveled yet, isn't mastered. That doesn't really matter for the tests that we're doing. We're gonna try and check out the speeds, but Pop's been extremely helpful in trying to figure this out. So definitely major shouts out to him. And so we have Anax here. We do have him in Relentless Gear. As we know with the Bateater team, Relentless Gear doesn't hurt anything. Those extra turns because of Relentless Gear aren't going to kill us because they don't burn any turn meter. Which is why Anax passive is the thing that we got to watch out for. I'm sorry, the passive ability here, extra turn when the champion's HP drops below 10%. So that's the thing we're looking after in this build. Actually have him built out, I think, pretty well. Not quite 100% crit rate, but still 86. Good crit damage, accuracy to land the debuffs, and the speed. That 222 is going to be above the 218 minimum that we need. It's not so fast it's going to screw things up. So I think he should work. Obviously, you know, we'd level him up all the way. We'd get his attack higher. We'd get his crit rate and damage higher. But I think this should give us at least a good example of what he can do potentially damage-wise, as well as what he's going to do speed-wise, which is the important part. Now, traditional Bateater team. You got your Painkeeper. The way I run it, and I think this is actually the way it should be run. I know my site has some, like, you know, there's a variety of information on there, but I actually have them at 239. This is like the minimum speed you can have them. But by having them at this, you're allowed to be able to run one of the masteries, the defensive masteries here, where it allows for a counterattack. That won't screw it up at that speed. So that's how we have Painkeeper. We also have one of our man-eaters, our slow man-eater here. He's going to be at 247 speed. Faster than Seeker, are faster than Painkeeper, slower than Seeker, who we have here at 249 speed. And then we also have our fast Maneater at 268 speed. So these are all the traditional speeds we use for the Bateater team, right? Nothing special going on there. This is the team he runs, so none of the masteries are going to be problematic. They're all defensive and offensive masteries. So we'll start off with the A3. I actually run this pretty common now, so pretty often, so this is actually pretty easy for me to remember how to get it set up and running. And then we get the cooldown, and we click auto. Yep, got the Relentless right off the bat. It's always a nice thing. You can see he procs that increased defense. That's probably from Seeker there, but it's all he also has that passive himself that'll give him that buff, which is always nice. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens when his HP drops below 10% and he gets that extra turn. As I've explained before in my other video, that extra turn, what it does is it eats all that previous turn meter. And by eating that previous turn meter, it throws things out of whack. Because he needs to go on turn count 1 to be able to catch up fast enough so that he'll get a double turn before the clan boss goes. So that's kind of the key to making this whole thing work. I've explained this in a couple of my videos in the past. But the Batless Eater is a prime example of that as far as trying to get the speeds. Some of the Frenzy builds involve that. So it's definitely out there, the information for that. But, you know, we'll see if this is actually how it works. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that should be exactly how this goes down. You can see getting all those extra turns. Always nice. This is why you love Relentless gear in the Bateater team. It will definitely up your damage. We got a decent amount of debuffs up there already, right? Continuing to add poisons. And I don't even think he's landing all of his poisons up there. But we're getting some going. We do have our Painkeeper in Toxic set. But yeah, you can see we're perfectly in tune now, right? That's not the issue. So we're completely unkillable. We're rolling just fine. The build works, the speeds work. Now the question is, how does it work with the Relentless proc? Look guys, there's the extra turn. It procs. You see his turn meter is now 0 and the clan boss turn meter was 0 at the same time. That's where it became a problem. And he didn't take his turn first. Everybody else took their turn first. The question is, can he come back in sync right now? And this is the question. So we did get another turn right there. And that's where we fall out. So we were able to get, and that's where he died, right? He only took his first turn after everybody else had taken their turn. And it wasn't fast enough for Seeker, for the other Maneaters, for Painkeeper to get their second turns and keep everything going. We need Seeker to use that turn meter boost, but it's happening one tick too late. And because it's happening, I think it's at least one tick too late, we're not getting that proc and the composition falls apart. And that's the problem with Anax. Right there, you guys can see that. So let's go ahead, and now I want to show you guys, I'm going to re-gear things because we can make Anax work. We can make him work, but we have to re-gear things and make some of our other champions just a little bit faster to compensate. Okay guys, we're back. So in order to make this work, I didn't have to change the speed of the slow Maneater. 247 is still what we need, but I did need to change the speed of the fast Maneater. My understanding is that the speeds we need to get higher than 278 for this fast Maneater, 246 for the slow Maneater, 255 for the Seeker, and then 248, I believe, for the Painkeeper to make that work, and then over 218 for Anax. or 219 for Anax. So that's my understanding of it. So I'm trying to get everybody there. We've got the fast Maneater here at 282, well covers the 278 speed that we need. This one's at 247, which covers the 246 that we need. We've got who else do we have? We do have paint. We have Seeker here. There we go. I knew he was there somewhere. At 255, which covers the 255 that we need. And obviously speed sets, they're like our decimals, so speed sets do have an impact on that, but these should be the right speeds. All right, we've got Painkeeper here at 251 speed. He just has to be over, I think, 247 and a quarter speed, and so 251 should cover that. Having the slow Maneater or the Painkeeper one faster than the other, it shouldn't have much of an impact. Although some of those Retribution Masteries can mess things up. So we will want to pay attention to that. If he does get a couple of counterattacks in there with that, it could throw off the run. I'm not really concerned about that, at least not initially, because I think we're going to be okay, regardless of how that works itself out. We're more concerned about Anax here. So that is something we will want to pay attention to, though, if there is a screw up in the run. And then Anax is set. So we've got our Fast Maneater moved up, we've got our Seeker sped up, and we've got our Painkeeper sped up to just a slightly higher threshold. And because of that, we should be able to use an axe. And we're going to see if this works or not. And the key here to making this work, my understanding of it, the key is that Anax is going to get his extra turn, and basically his turn meter drops to 0. So instead of doing his first attack on turn count 1, he's actually doing his first attack on turn count 0. And so he only really needs to speed up to do 1 attack then. So the extra attack isn't actually giving him any benefits here. If anything, it's just making us have to gear everybody else faster, because they then have to speed up to get to their first tick, or their second tick, I guess is really how it goes. So that's really kind of what's happening. That's why we're speeding these guys up. So let's go ahead and run it, and we're going to kind of see how this works. If it works. I haven't tried it yet, so it's always a little bit of a gamble when you're doing something new. Let's see how it goes. So guys, the setup for this is exactly the same as on any other Bateater team. We just sped up some of the other champions' speeds, allowing them to catch up. So my theory on how this is working with this is, as we've talked, and this is the math heavy part, but I'm going to just talk over this so you at least have something to watch while I'm doing this. But my theory is that the way the Bateater works is that you have your slowest champion, in this case Anax, goes on turn count 1. Right after the clan boss attacks, the very first tick, that's when, no, I'm sorry, not turn count, the very first tick. So the very first tick after the clan boss goes, Anax takes their turn. And then each champion after that takes their turn on each consecutive tick. And then, so that's tick 1 through tick 5, our champions are going. Tick 6 and 7 and 8, they're speeding up and catching up along with the clan boss, who would normally take their turn. The clan boss has a full turn meter on tick 8. What happens is Anax is going fast enough that by tick 8, Anax has a full turn meter just faster than the clan boss, and so takes another turn. And so that's what's happening normally, right? And then every other champion takes turns right after that. So tick 9, tick 10, tick 11, tick 12, tick 13, and the clan boss on 14. So that's generally what's happening in this composition. Now what's happening, or 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then 13 is the clan boss goes. And Seeker, obviously, with the turn meter boost, is speeding everybody up. Now, when Anax gets his extra turn, he's actually going on tick 0, not tick 1. He's going on the same tick that the clan boss is going on. So it's tick 0, and his turn meter goes down to 0. So what happens is that he's catching up on tick 7, but the clan boss gets a full turn meter on tick 8. And so what's happening is the clan boss is then interrupting the rest of our team and taking his turn. So what we needed to do, and what we've done, is by speeding up the other champions, we're allowing ourselves to then catch up on tick 8. So our slow Maneater is now going on tick 8 as opposed to tick 9. And that's how we're able to stay in tune. And then every other champion is going in the ticks after that. And so that's the adjustment that we're making. Now, my interest in this, of course, is seeing how this works. If this is something that is consistent and can happen every single time, and I think it does. Watching the run, it seems like it's working just fine. The increased speeds aren't affecting the Bateater composition as a whole. The question is, of course, are we able to catch up here? And so far, it appears to be yes, but we'll see once he drops down to close to 0 HP and gets that extra turn, which should be coming up, I think, this turn or the next. Yep, you can see right there, he procs that extra turn. Turn meter goes down to 0, but the clan boss's turn meter stays at 0 as well. And everybody's taking their first turn. The question is, will Anax take their second turn, and will the next champion? So there goes Anax, and there goes Seeker on that second turn. He is fast enough to take that next turn. So Seeker is the one that's being able to come in second and catch up, give everybody else a turn meter boost so that they're able to catch up to the clan boss as well. And that's the beauty of it. So that's how we're able to maintain this tune. Now the question is, will this last a full 50 turns, or does that change in turn meter affect the run as a whole? My guess, we're going to be just fine. It's going to work just like we'd expect it to. It's not going to change anything. This should go for a full 50 turns. So now, one thing I did do while regearing this is I took Painkeeper's Retribution off. I didn't want to risk that mastery proccing, that extra turn, giving Painkeeper that extra 10% turn meter boost would affect the order of things. I don't think it would be an issue. My guess is it won't cause any problems, but not being 100% sure and not wanting to risk it, I didn't want to try putting it on, because I know it can screw up a Bateater team if you don't have the speed spreads just right. So keeping that in mind, there's definitely some room for alterations in here as well, and there's still plenty of room for experimentation as also. So I'm actually excited to see what you guys are able to come with, what kind of variations of this you all are able to create, because I think it's a really, I think Anax could be really, really good. We'll come back at the end. There you go, guys. 51 million. Not too bad for a level 40 Anax who has 70 some odd crit rate. 12 million damage, not too shabby. I mean, obviously, you know, you level him up, you max all the stuff out, he's going to do way better than he did here. But I mean, that's not too bad. Level 40. More importantly, it worked. We did a full 50 turns, ran through it all, unkillable, no issues there. You can do it, guys. It can be done. Amazing, right? So that's it, guys. I mean, Anax works. Now, obviously, in this build, he's not fully kitted out. He doesn't have his masteries. He's not fully leveled, and we still did over 50 million damage on Ultra Nightmare. The guy can smack. He really does good work. So I'm really excited to see where a fully leveled Anax could do with this comp. I think, personally, he'll actually do better than Thane will on Ultra Nightmare. So I would recommend, if you have an Anax, that might be somebody you want to get up. Now, obviously, the speed requirements are higher now, right? You need to be faster for all your other champions. That's a bit of a pain, but it's still doable. And I think that's something that we can all, I think if you're that close already, you can probably make that happen. And I think using an Anax, if you don't have a Draco and you're stuck using Anax or Thane or like a Bellinor, I think this change would be a good one for you. Obviously, if you're already one king, no, doesn't matter, right? This only affects those people that have the Bateater comp anyway. One quick note, guys. Normally I have, when I present a new composition like this, new speeds, I'll have it on the website before I even drop the video. We're actually going through, me and my team are going through the speeds that I have on the website right now, and like just going over them, cleaning up the instructions, making sure that it's a little bit cleaner for people to be able to read and understand, and then also getting links for the different builds on the website. So I'm actually in that process, and I should be ready sometime early next week. So until that is done, I'm not actually going to have the speeds for this composition on there. As soon as that happens, though, I will. In the meantime, up above my head, you will see the speeds that we have. So you can go ahead and look at those, and that should be able to give you the speeds that you need if you're trying to make this happen right now. And you'll notice I have true speeds up there. So those are the thresholds you guys are going to want to meet. So that should be it. And I'm not saying that those are the only speeds. Those are the ones that I know. There might definitely, almost definitely some variance in there, and some manipulation that you guys can do if you want to change them up a little bit. Move Painkeeper around with the Maneater or something. I don't know. All I'm saying is that that's what I know works right now. And if you want to try and find something a little bit different, I say have at it. But yeah, that's it. I think it's a really cool thing to be able to see the little adjustments we can make in the calculator to use a champion like this. Now, obviously, I should say in the calculator. Anax's passive isn't in the calculator. Like, that's something I haven't been able to work out yet, but it is something I will get in there eventually, along with a bunch of other little changes that we're trying to do, like getting affinities, the stun. These are things I want to keep adding to it. So I want to give a massive shout out to all my Patreon subscribers, all the people that have signed up for the epic version of the calculator, so that you can save your comps, so that you can share these builds. I really appreciate it, and then we're starting to see a much wider range of compositions come by now. I'm starting to get already in my inbox more than a couple different speed tunes that I've just never seen before. And I know a lot of that's due to the calculator, and a lot of that's due to you guys actually playing in there and going around and trying to find new things. And I think that's awesome. So keep it up, everybody. If you find something new, drop it in my Discord. Just drop it in there. See if anybody picks the bait up for that, because if it's something really unique and interesting, I guarantee somebody will. And I think that's a really cool thing. I mean, this is all kind of, all these tunes come from the community. I create some of them for sure, but a lot of them just come from the community. And this one came from my clanmates, from my moderators, and I just a massive shout out to all you guys. And once again, guys, make sure to go sub Pop. I mean, he deserves it. Definitely go by. Really appreciate him letting me jump on this account. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel down below in the comments and in the description of this video. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.